Namaste and welcome to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. For today's practice, you may want to have a couple of blocks and a strap. And let's begin in any comfortable seat of your choice. You might even like to prop up your pelvis on a block. We've been highlighting different chakras in various classes recently. And today, here's some food for thought for the chakra that we will focus on. How do you connect to your sense of divinity? That so-called higher self, connection to source. How do you connect to others and realize our interconnection? So today I'd like to focus on the energy center called your crown center. It's located generally at the crown of your head. And the Sanskrit word is Sahasrara Chakra. The color that is associated here is white or violet, like I'm wearing today. And when energy is flowing in balance, you might feel a sense of interconnectedness with life, with nature, with all living beings, humans and non-humans. I'll read a little bit more from a book I just got called The Essential Chakra Meditation, Awaken Your Healing Power with Meditation and Visualization by April Fender. The crown chakra, located at the top of your head and extending a few inches above your head space, governs the top of your head, your nervous system and lymphatic systems, and your brain. Considered the portal to divine consciousness, the universe, and cosmic consciousness. The crown chakra receives and transmits universal energy to your entire chakra system. An open crown chakra denotes a solid connection with your higher self and spiritual advancement. Your crown is responsible for your metaphysical energy, whereas your root, Muladhara chakra, is responsible for your physical energy. So as we move from the lower chakras to the higher chakras, the bridge between being the heart chakra, we move from physical focus, the body, to mental, spiritual, emotional focus, and more into spiritual as we focus today in the chakra. And remember that these are not separate from each other. They're constantly at play with each other and us. So we're just highlighting these so we can be more intentional with how they work. So let's sit still, maybe close your eyes, maybe rest a hand at your heart center, a hand at your lower belly to help turn your attention inward. Beginning to mentally scan your physical body and observe any sensations you're feeling. Taking notice of your physical state. Then bring your awareness to your breathing, just letting it flow naturally. Observing the qualities of the breath. Take notice of your energetic state. Now bring your awareness to your mind. Observe the activity of your mind. Contents of your mind. And take note of your mental and emotional state. Now I invite you to choose something or someone to offer gratitude for, anything that you genuinely can appreciate right now. Sparking that uplifting vibration of gratitude within you, now begin to narrow down something you'd like to focus on through uniting your mind, body, spirit in the practice of yoga. What would you like to place your attention on and thus expand with your energy, invite into your reality? And in the practice of non-attachment and letting go of the ego self, now I invite you to call to mind someone that you care about, or a community or a cause that you care about, to dedicate your efforts to today. Let's prepare to chant together 3 ohms, sending out the vibration of our intentions, as well as letting them resonate within us. Inhale deeply. Now, if your eyes are closed, keep them closed. If it's comfortable to keep them closed, and start to lengthen your breath, imagining that you could inhale from the crown of your head, energizing inhalation all the way down the spine through the 7 chakras to the base, the root energy center. And as you exhale, lift the breath all the way back up and radiate it from the crown of the head. Again, inhale like a channel, bringing in cosmic energy, creative life force energy through the crown, all the way down the 7 centers to the roots. And as you exhale, lifting the breath from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown and out into the world. Try a few more breaths like that as you start to create a soft whispering sound while closing your lips, sustaining the breath evenly in and out through your nose. So that as you visualize this, and maybe there's a color, violet or white, to the breath, you're activating energy flow through your Sahasrara chakra. Feeling that sense of interconnectedness as you visualize the breath moving in and out. All the while beginning the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, which helps to calm and balance your nervous system. And while creating an ocean wave sound to your breath, you give your mind an anchor to steady its focus in the body in the present moment. See if you can keep your breathing gently audible to you, smooth, balanced, through much of our physical yoga. And I invite you to make your way slowly into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, in which you spread your fingers wide and flat at the top of your mat, shoulders width apart, where your index fingers are pointing forward or slightly turned out. And the knees a couple inches behind the hips, the feet are hips distance or wider apart. And when you arrive in downward facing dog, to the pace of your regulated breath, begin to move your body like pedaling your feet slowly in place, maybe raising a leg into the air and circling it out at the hip. Just inviting energy flow as you keep sending the breath all the way through the 7 chakras. At any point during our physical yoga, it makes sense for you to close your eyes. You might do that as a means of tuning inward, And maybe continuing to imagine the color white or violet into areas in which you want to invite life force energy to more freely flow in your physical body. Start to find stillness in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And as you're still, spread your weight throughout your finger pads. Roll your triceps towards the floor, spreading the shoulder blades apart. Soften the back of your neck, land your gaze, if your eyes are open, on one spot, steadying your drishti. Lift the shoulders back, lift the hips back, maybe bend the knees, and root down to your heels. Listen to 3 more slow Ujjayi breaths here. Then walk your feet to the front of your mat, entering Uttanasana, a standing forward fold with knees bent. Reach your hands behind you to clasp or hold a strap between your hands and tilt your weight as far forward as you can balance, relaxing your neck. For a few breaths here, straighten one leg and lean your torso to the outside of it while bending the opposite knee. Stretching your arms further away from your lower back to broaden across the fronts of your shoulders. Switch the straight leg, lean towards it. Maybe switch the interlacing of your thumb and index finger on top. And as you let your head fall, lift your shoulder bones away from it, offering space to your neck. Then drop both arms and press your fingertips either on blocks or the ground ahead of your feet. As you inhale, stretch your spine parallel to the floor, gliding your shoulders back, tilting your weight forward, firming the front muscles of your thighs. As you exhale, bow from your hips, dropping your head as you soften the neck. Again, press into the blocks or the floor, and inhale, lengthen your spine forward, activating your abdomen here. Half forward fold. Exhale, fold towards your legs. Once more, inhale, press with your hands and lengthen into Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. This time, root down through the soles of your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward and slowly rise to stand, reaching your arms overhead in Urdhva Hastasana. Create a little back bend here for a few breaths. Drop the shoulders behind your ears. Seal the bottom of your front ribs towards your back. Lengthen your tailbone down towards the floor between your heels. And drop the shoulder blades as you gaze up. Maybe seal the palms if that's available without shrugging the shoulders. We'll take our Urdhva Hastasanas like this in a gentle back bend during our sun salutations. Join your thumbs at your sternum and visualize what would it look like for your intention to be happening right at this moment. How would it feel in your body, in your breath? Bring those sensations with you as you flow with gratitude through Surya Namaskars. Inhale, sweep your arms forward into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow from your hips in Uttanasana. Press down with your hands. Inhale, lengthen forward to Ardha Uttanasana. Step back to plank pose. And exhale, lower forward through Chaturanga Dandasana, all the way down. Hugging your elbows towards your rib cage, root down through the tops of your feet. And inhale to Bhujangasana, Cobra, rolling your shoulders back and down as you widen your chest forward. Tucking your toes, engage your abdomen as you exhale, press up through plank into downward facing dog. Listen to 3 deep breaths here as you steady your gaze. When you finish the 3rd exhalation, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat into Uttanasana. Then inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. root to your soles. Inhale, rise to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands to your heart, Padasana. Let's continue 2 more cycles of the salutation. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step to plank, gliding forward to lower, or lightly jump to Chaturanga Dandasana, landing with elbows bent. This time lower to the floor, or inhale, flip the toes, upward facing dog. Engage your abdomen to lift your hips to downward facing dog. Let your body be still as you rebalance 3 cycles of breath. When you hear the end of your 3rd exhalation, walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat. There, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Padasana. Once more, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step or float to lower to Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue your Vinyasa to Cobra or Upward Dog. Let's meet in Downward Dog for 3 breaths. After your 3rd out breath, walk or float to the top. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands together at your heart. So as you shift your weight onto your right foot, steady your gaze on one spot, engage your lower abdomen. Flex your left foot and raise your left knee bent to the height of your left hip in front of you. Drop your left hip to the height of the right hip and keep standing tall. Steady your breath. Slowly step the ball of your left foot to the rear of your mat, entering crescent lunge. Separating your feet as wide apart as your hips and parallel to each other. Bend your back knee on this first one at least, and draw your tailbone downward. Bend your front knee right on top of the heel and scissor the right hip back, just enough so the left hip comes forward, even with the right. Slightly lift your frontal hip bones, lengthening your spine as you raise your arms. Relax the shoulders down. Whether palms are together or apart, steady your gaze in one spot. And if and when your left hip flexor is willing, you might straighten your left leg while you're here. Spinning your left heel down, align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Keeping the right knee bent directly above the right heel, rotate your right outer hip underneath your body to splay the right knee towards your right pinky toe. In contrast, firm the top of your left thigh bone back, keeping your pelvis as upright and neutral as possible. Open your arms wide and steady your gaze past your right hand. Let's listen to a few more breaths in Warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten your right leg. Let's prepare for triangle pose. Glide your hips sideways towards the rear wall. Reach your right hand far forward towards the front wall. Then place that hand on the right side of your right shin, whether on a block or the floor, Raise your left arm up. Keep rotating your right outer hip under you as you did in Warrior Two. Press the crease of your right hip back towards your left outer foot, while lengthening your crown forward towards your front wall. Draw the shoulders down your back. Turn your chest slightly to face the sky and steady your gaze on one spot, maybe up towards the left thumb if it feels okay on your neck. Let's listen to a few more breaths here in Trikonasana. Gaze down at your right foot. Lower the left hand on the left side of it. Place your hands on blocks to the floor and step your right foot another 4 or 5 inches to the right. Walk your left foot forward, another 5 or 6 inches, preparing for pyramid pose. Square your hips even in height. Keep your legs straight and inhale, stretch your spine forward. Keep your throat open, the shoulders back. As you exhale to fold from your hips, hug your front ribs towards your back. Breath by breath, exploring the range of your forward fold in Parsvottanasana. If your right hamstring is pretty warm and you want to take it a step further, lift the ball of your right foot as you flex it and isometrically drag your right heel back while you stretch your chest forward. If your right toes are lifted, step the right foot down. Inhale, look forward and lengthen your spine. Exhale, step your left foot beside the right, forward fold. Press down with your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, gentle back bend. Exhale, Padasana, hands at your heart. Steady your gaze. Engage your lower belly in and up. Shift your weight onto your left foot. As you flex your right foot, raise your right knee bent to the height of your right hip in front of you, but drop your right hip to match the left. Keep standing tall. Let's stay a few breaths here. Feel the center line of your body from the inner edge of your left heel up the inseam of your left leg. From your tailbone up, the 7 chakras to the crown. Then slowly step the ball of your right foot to the rear of your mat, entering crescent lunge. Make sure your feet are hips distance, parallel. Bend your right knee and drop your tailbone. Slightly lift your frontal hip bones and square your hips to face forward. Bend the left knee just over the heel as you raise your arms up. Relax your shoulders down. With arms straight, either keep the hands apart or together. Close your eyes or steady your gaze on one spot, and let's listen to a few more breaths. Maybe straightening the right leg. Spin your right heel down and align your left heel to the arch of your right foot. Bending your left knee just over the ankle, rotate your left outer hip underneath you and firm the top of your right thigh bone back. Open your arms wide and steady your gaze just past your left hand. Tune into your breathing. Virabhadrasana 2. Let's prepare for triangle pose. Straighten your left leg, glide your hips sideways towards the rear wall, reaching your left hand far forward towards the front wall before placing it on the left side of your left shin. Use a block if it feels too low to reach. Keep rotating your left outer hip under you. Press the crease of your left hip back towards your right outer foot while lengthening your torso, your crown forward. Send the shoulder blades down your back and spin your chest slightly to face the sky. Then land your eyes on one point and let's listen to a few more breaths in Trikonasana. Gaze at your left foot and place the right hand on the right side of it, hands on blocks of the floor. Step your left foot to the left so that your feet can be hips width apart, and walk the right foot forward about 5 or 6 inches, dropping the heel. With both legs straight, square your hips to evenly face forward and press down with your hands as you inhale to stretch your chest through the gates of your arms. With neck long, exhale, hinge little by little from your hips. Pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Again, if your left hamstring feels pretty warm here and you want to go further, lift the ball of your left foot flexed and isometrically drag it back while drawing your chest forward. Place your left foot flat on the ground. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, gaze forward. Exhale, step the right foot next to the left and fold. Separate your feet hips width apart and bend your knees. Slip your palms face up under the soles of your feet. Allow your toes to meet the inner creases of your wrists. Padahastasana, an outer rest stretch, among other things. As you inhale, lift your chest, and again, press your heart through the gates of your arms. Lengthen all of your spine as you peel the shoulders back. Drop your head and bow from your hips. Now, if available, bend your elbows apart so that you can lift the shoulders as you drop the head. Listen to your breathing here. Physical postures that help to activate your crown chakra are these forward folds and even placing some point of contact between the crown of your head and the ground or the surface below. So we'll explore getting into headstand today. And of course, you take it to the stage that works for your body in the moment. Slip your palms out from under and heel toe your feet together so they touch. Let's prepare for sun salutations, our last sets. Bend your knees together to touch and inhale, sink your hips back, raise your arms up, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, hinge from your hips, Uttanasana. Press the ground or blocks, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step to plank and lower or float to Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue through your Vinyasa. At downward dog, inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale, step the foot beside your right thumb, spinning your left heel down, face forward. Inhale, rise up to warrior one. Exhale all the way down into a Vinyasa. At downward dog, inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale your foot beside your left thumb, drop your right heel. Facing forward, inhale, rise up to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower to flow into your Vinyasa. Downward dog, pause and recalibrate for 3 breaths. Maybe close your eyes and visualize that white or violet light circulating throughout your body with a feeling tone of your intention for this practice. When you finish the 3rd breath, walk or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Feet together, knees together. Inhale, sit low, Utkatasana. Exhale, rise up, Padasana. So take your 2 blocks and let's step to face the wide width of your mat. Step or jump your feet wide apart. Parallel your feet and place the blocks in front of you. Bring your hands to your hips. Rolling your shoulders back and down. Inhale, look up. Then exhale, hinge from your hips and place your hands on the blocks so that your palms are flat. Now, if you can flatten your palms on the floor, then you don't need the blocks. As you inhale, tilt your weight forward and stretch your chest through the gates of your arms. Press the shoulders back, but grow the crown of your head forward. And as you exhale, hinge from your hips, but keep the feeling of a flat back. If your back starts to round, you could bend the knees. You could separate the feet wider apart. Now see if it's available to walk your blocks back, but keep your fingertips pointing forward so that you're bending your elbows, if they bend, behind you, where you might start to create a 90-degree angle at each elbow, where you can see that your elbows are directly beneath, or your wrists are directly beneath your elbows. And if your hamstrings are willing, you might even set the very crown of your head onto the ground so that you're creating a tripod base, which is a triangle. Now, if you're able to have your hands flat, you might be ready to practice tripod headstand here. If you have any neck issues, forgo getting into headstand. But if you feel fine, activate your abdomen, draw the belly in and up. Use your hands to press flat down so that you can lift the shoulders up and lengthen your neck. You never want to feel like you're compressing your neck in headstand. You're actively using your hands to push the floor away so the shoulders are lifting away from the neck. Now from here, keep your arms parallel to each other. If you have an equilateral triangular base out of your heels of your palms and the crown of your head, you can begin, like crow pose, to step your knees onto your upper arms. So your upper arms act like a shelf. You can bring the inner edges of your feet together and you're already in tripod headstand. Keep using your hands to press the floor away, lift the shoulders up, and if available, you can start to contract the abdomen and bring the knees together. Using your hip flexors here, maybe unfold the legs straight so the feet are together, trying to create a strong midline through the center line of your body. Flexing your feet as you press the insteps up towards the ceiling. How's your breathing? If you're in full tripod, lift your tailbone actively towards your inner heels and lift your inner heels actively towards the sky. Whatever variation of this inversion, including wide-legged forward fold you're in, listen to 3 more deep breaths. Imagine that violet or white light circulating. Where's your body asking for that energy to flow? Now, if your legs are straight up, there are a few ways to come down. You could straddle the legs wide and start to slowly tilt your pelvis right side up, or you could walk the knees onto the upper arms again, or you could bring the feet forward and down. Take it slowly. Once your feet have come down, walk your hands forward and inhale, lengthen your chest through the gates of your upper arms. Stay here as you exhale, bending the knees deeply. Place your hands on your hips. Inhale, slowly rise all the way up to stand. Let's come on down to our knees and prepare for supine hero's pose. Whether sitting directly on your calves or on a block between your ankles or on the floor between your ankles. Make sure your toes are pointed back and that your knees are on the ground, no wider than your hips distance. Seal in your bottom front ribs and lengthen your tailbone down, being mindful to continue lengthening, not compressing your lower back. And breath by breath, ease your way to any amount possible that you could lean your torso back. Supta Virasana, supine hero's pose. If your back is completely on the ground, you might raise your arms overhead and hold opposite bent to elbows. So find a balance of effort and ease in which you can still breathe calmly with Ujjayi breath, even though you may be challenging your body to open up. And let's listen to 5 more full breaths where you are. Taking your time, place your hands alongside you and gently begin to lift your torso upright. Then rise up to stand on your knees as we come into our last few back bends, starting in camel pose twice. So for the first round, you may like to hug a skinny block between knees and thighs, offering lower back support. Tuck your toes behind you and backstroke your arms. Place your hands on your lower back with your fingertips face down. With your hands, encourage your pelvis to stay forward and stacked right above your knees. Encourage your tailbone to draw downward towards the ground between the knees. As you breathe in, lift your chest and the back ribs. Exhaling, peel the front of your shoulders back and start to tilt the chest up from right under the shoulder blades. Give yourself 5 to 7 breaths to explore your range in this first camel pose. When you're ready to come out with hands in your lower back, slowly roll your spine upright. Notice that by hugging your elbows closer and closer together, you can help to open across your heart space. Use the breath as well. Deepen the inhales. Stretch the lungs. You might reach for a heel behind you and then switch hands, or you might reach hold both heels or none at all. Remember, there's no better or worse version of the pose. Tune into your body and be honest with yourself. When you decide to come out of Ustrasana or camel, place your body in a comfortable seat to rest and observe for 3 breaths. Then take your last camel pose on your own, with or without a block, with toes tucked or tops of the feet flat on the ground. 5 to 10 breaths this time. Let's meet sitting, resting, and observing for 3 breaths. For a final back bend, let's come onto our backs and you can choose to take bridge pose or upward facing bow. And as you're lying down, bending your knees, step your feet about hips width apart. You can again choose to use a skinny width of a block to hug firmly between knees and thighs to support your lower back. Bring the arms really close to your side ribs and walk your feet back until you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. Make sure your feet are parallel to each other as you ground them and your shoulders, tilting your chin back. For bridge, keep your arms here and lift the pelvis, then walk the upper arms closer together. Maybe clasp the hands. For upward bow, bend your elbows towards the sky and flip your palms face down alongside your ears, with your fingertips pointing towards your shoulders and left and right edges of your mat. Take your own for 5 to 10 breaths. This is our last back bend of the series. To support your lower back in either one, isometrically drag your heels towards your glutes. Spin your inner thighs slightly towards the floor and stretch the fronts of your thighs forward. If you are in Urdhva Dhanurasana, you might straighten the legs. Take your time coming down when you're ready. Let's meet in Supta Baddha Konasana, dropping the knees apart, bringing the soles of your feet together to touch. If your thighs need support, place a block under each outer thigh. And maybe resting left hand at your heart center, right hand at your lower belly. Stay a few breaths and notice any shift in your energy at this point of your practice. Placing your hands on your outer thighs, gently close the knees and lift your body upright to sit for our seated twist. Stretch your left leg forward and step your right foot on the floor, either in front of your right hip or cross to the outside of your left knee. If here, you could bend the left knee as well, as long as you're able to sit balanced through both hips and be tall in the spine. Place your right hand on the ground behind your pelvis and raise your left arm. Press into the floor with your right foot and your 2 sitting bones. Breathe in and lift from the base of your spine to your crown. Breathe out and rotate your rib cage to the right. Lower your left arm to hold your top leg or to hook your elbow outside of the thigh. Breathe in, press into the surface below your body and lift up your spine. Breathe out, keep rotating your rib cage. Few more breaths. On your exhale, unwind your spine. And let's straighten the right leg forward for the second side. Set up the same way if possible. Left foot in front of the left hip or crossed outside your right knee. Maybe bend the right knee. Place your left hand behind your pelvis, raise your right arm, press into the ground and inhale, lift up. Exhale, rotate your rib cage to the left and lower your right arm. Maybe hook the elbow. Continue with each part of your breath, lengthening and twisting. At your exhalation, unwind your spine and let's straighten both legs forward for a seated forward fold. Root down to your 2 sitting bones. Separate your feet hips width apart. Either grab a strap to hold around the balls of your feet with enough slack to drop the shoulders back and down, or eventually clasp your big toes instead. Flex your feet and press your insteps forward. Activate your quadriceps to support your hamstrings. As you root the pelvis down, hug in the front ribs and lengthen the front and back of your spine. While relaxing the shoulders, keep your throat open. As you exhale from the hips, not from the neck, begin to hinge forward just a little bit of your range, then pause there. Breathe in, press down with the pelvis, stretch the spine forward. Breathe out, fold another bit of your range. And just like that, keep going until or before your back may start to round. Paschimottanasana. Press down through your hips, lift from your sternum, inhale, slowly rise. Please find a comfortable way to sit so we can practice alternate nostril breathing, which will be a wonderful preparation to rest more easily in Shavasana and to tune inward in meditation. This also helps to balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain which is part of your crown chakra. And by breathing very softly, very gently, you don't want to hear much sound in the breath at all. You're also tuning into your subtle energy body. It takes a bit more focus to do that. So sit in a way that you can be grounded through the hips, tall through the spine, and relaxed. Rest your left hand on your lap. A mudra to cultivate the energy of rising consciousness is Chin Mudra. So I invite you to bring the left hand in Chin Mudra, thumb and index fingers touching, palm face up. The right hand in alternate nostril breathing, or Nodi Shodhana Pranayama, is in Vishnu Mudra. Stick out your thumb, pinky, and ring finger. We'll be closing the right nostril with right thumb, closing the left nostril with right ring and pinky. All the breath coming in and out through the nose, slowly. As we practice this breathing technique, you might close your eyes and bring your inner gaze to the top of your head, imagining the color white or violet. So let's prepare. We'll take 3 cycles together, 2 cycles on your own. Empty this breath through the nose. Hold the breath. Right thumb, close right nostril, inhale left. Hold the breath. Close left, exhale right. Hold. Inhale right. Hold. Close right, exhale left. Hold. Second cycle. Inhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Close right, exhale left, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale left, 6. Hold 3. Close left, exhale right, 6. Hold 3. Inhale right, 6. Hold 3. Close right, exhale left, 6. Hold 3. Continue 2 more cycles on your own. When you're finished, release both hands in Chin Mudra. Relax your breathing to natural and observe anything you feel. Then gently lower your body to the ground for corpse pose, splaying your arms and legs, closing your eyes, and allowing your body to breathe naturally as you continue to observe in the present moment. Now rest here a little longer with eyes closed. I invite you again to slowly mentally scan your body for any sensations that you notice. Feel into your physical state now. Gently begin to turn your head. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Gradually roll over onto your right side, resting your head there. Now, sense the quality of your breathing just as it is. Feel into your energetic state at this point. When you're ready, press your hands into the ground. Be gentle as you slowly lift your spine, your head, rising into a comfortable seat in which you can feel alert, grounded, and at ease. Prepare to sit for 5 minutes in meditation. You might continue to place your hands in Chin Mudra. Choose to either close your eyes or steady a soft gaze on one spot ahead. If your eyes are closed, I invite you to bring your attention, your mind's eye, to your crown chakra. Again, visualizing the color purple or white and the feeling tone of warm, unconditional love, which is your essence and at the core of every living being. As you let your body breathe naturally, and we sit here for the next 5 minutes, I'll guide a little bit of the meditation practice. I invite you to visualize a portal at your crown, an open channel receiving from universal source, that origin of all creation. Feeling of pure love, no limitation, no boundaries. Pouring in to the crown of your head. And like loving lava, slowly releasing downward, bringing love to your third eye center, your throat center, your heart center, your solar plexus center, your sacral center, down to your root center. And when it reaches the root, see it rise back up through the 7 centers with an even stronger loving energy, lifting out from your crown, sending that loving energy out to beings that you love, to beings that you feel neutral about, you've just seen around, you know you are connected to them in the bigger picture. Send it to as many beings as you can imagine, even the ones that might be difficult to send it to. You're never depleted of this love. So you can always visualize more of it coming in to your crown. There's an unlimited supply. If you're needing to replenish, invite it in through the crown and let it enter down through the 7 chakras to your root. And let it feel more powerful as it rises up and out of you as you send more love out into the world. Now notice how you feel mentally, emotionally. This is a practice you can do at any time, like when you might be feeling lonely or separate from the world. And you need to remember your interconnection. What's one thing you're grateful for now? Then either out loud or mentally repeat your intention for this practice. Say it with passion, with love. Picture the ones that you dedicated this practice to today, receiving the benefits. Let's close the practice by chanting 3 ohms. And by the way, the seed sound, the bija mantra of your crown energy center is silence. So after the 3rd ohm, pause and absorb the silence. Inhale deeply. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.